The first star fell at 2:03 a.m. on Jack Carter's 9th birthday, and nothing in the universe would ever be the same again. Most children wouldn't have noticed the faint blue shimmer dancing between the stars of Orion's belt, but Jack wasn't most children. He was the boy who talked to the moon through his grandfather's old ham radio, the boy who could name every crater on Mars from memory, the boy who still left peanut butter sandwiches on the windowsill every Thursday because his father had once joked that aliens might get hungry on their long journeys. That night, when the strange light pulsed 3 times, exactly mimicking his secret knock against the attic wall, Jack didn't hesitate. He grabbed 3 things: his father's heavy military flashlight, still set to Morse code mode from their last camping trip, the last peanut butter sandwich from dinner, wrapped carefully in tinfoil, and the frayed composition notebook labeled things Dad said were up there in his own wobbly handwriting. The screen door creaked like it always did when he snuck out to Stargazi, but tonight the sound carried something different, a static charge that made the hairs on his arms stand up straight. The woods behind his grandparents' Vermont farmhouse had never felt so alive. Fireflies pulsed in perfect sync with his footsteps, their golden light tracing a path deeper into the pines where no firefly should be in late October. The air smelled of burnt sugar and something sharper, like the time Dad had let him taste gunpowder from his service revolver. Then he saw it, not a crashed spaceship like in the movies, but a perfect sphere of liquid mirror floating 6 inches above a circle of scorched ferns, reflecting Jack's face back at him with eyes that held entire galaxies in their pupils. When he reached out, the sphere didn't feel cold like metal or warm like flesh. It felt like the moment between sleep and waking, like the hush just before a thunderstorm breaks. It flowed up his arm in ribbons of living light, and the voice that spoke wasn't heard with his ears, but felt in his bones, in his teeth, in the suddenly too fast rhythm of his heart. Query: designation? Jack's answer was barely a whisper, but it echoed across light years of sleeping stars. I'm Jack. Are you broken? The sphere shuddered. A seam appeared like a pupil dilating in sudden sunlight, and for the first time in 7 million years, a remembered child opened its eyes to a human dawn. What followed wasn't just a first contact, it was the universe remembering an old friendship. The being inside the sphere later named Lumen for the glow beneath its translucent skin communicated, through shared pain in a way that would have terrified any adult but made perfect sense to a lonely boy with skinned knees and a heart full of missing. When Jack touched the fresh scrape on his elbow from climbing the attic ladder, Lumen's entire body shimmered with the same injury, the bruise forming intricate star maps across its arms. When Jack's breath hitched remembering how Dad had promised to watch the Perseids with him this year, Lumen projected the memory back, but now it showed his father's face through a haze of strange constellations, his mouth moving in words no human throat could shape. The pod, because that's what it was, Jack realized, a lifeboat from some unimaginable ship, had crashed in the abandoned graphite mine behind Black Pine Ridge for a reason. The walls pulsed with the same blue veins as Lumen's skin, the entire mountain acting like a giant receiver for signals adults had long since forgotten how to hear. Over the next 37 nights, while the sheriff's search parties combed the wrong side of the ridge and news helicopters buzzed like angry hornets, Jack smuggled supplies to the mine in his backpack. Grandpa's old car batteries that Lumen drank like lemonade, the broken ham radio they rebuilt into a translator, even Grandma's rose quartz necklace that made Lumen's whole body chime like a struck wine glass when placed in the pod's healing fluid. Then the stars started blinking back. Not random twinkles, but patterns, 3 quick, 2 slow, 3 quick again. Jack's knock repeated across the entire night sky. The remembered had come for their lost child, and they didn't arrive in ships so much as unfold from the spaces between heartbeats. Their vessels were nightmares of perfect geometry, hulls woven from collapsed starlight that hurt to look at directly. When the Pentagon's lasers bounced harmlessly off their skin and the president's emergency broadcast turned into a lullaby in a language no linguist could place, but every child under 12 understood instinctively. The world realized an awful truth: humanity had been speaking to the stars all along. We just needed to remember how to listen. Lumen's family didn't come with weapons or demands. They came with gifts wrapped in light, the cure for Grandma's Alzheimer's hidden in a beam of indigo, the secret to clean energy encoded in the freckles suddenly appearing on children's cheeks worldwide, the answer to Dad's disappearance etched onto the surface of Jack's now glowing notebook. But the greatest gift was the revelation whispered directly into Jack's bones as Lumen pressed its forehead to his on the last night. You were never alone. We've been waiting for you to look up. The remembered left as quietly as they'd come, their ships dissolving into constellations that hadn't existed before. But sometimes, when the wind blows just right through the pines behind the old Carter farm, you can still hear two children laughing, one human, one starlight, playing a game older than civilization. And if you ask Jack, now a gray-haired xenolinguist teaching at the First Interstellar Academy, he'll smile and tap 3 quick, 2 slow, 3 quick against his knee before pointing to the newest star in the sky, the one that winks back.